Hi there, welcome to an important video within the Noah Presgrove case looking at the latest news, discussions and posts on the matter. Today we're going to be focusing in on the likes of Kaden Pressy, his timeline, comparison between partners in true crime to the June 2024 private leaked police interview where Kaden made reference to the time of when Alicia called him in regards to Georgia making it back home, and the time differences of when he went back to sleep and whether Noah was there or not. It's not exactly consistent when you compare the two different interviews, and it's just under a month apart, the difference between them when they took place. So it's very interesting. I think there might have been a handful of people last night that were inquiring about it. Kaden Pressy was present, but just simply listening in, fair enough. But I think some people really wanted answers, tried getting them, Kaden did not respond. It is what it is, but we can still keep the discussions going, provide a visual comparison today. Credit to Tim Daniel, I think, that had done a post that will be acknowledged, and then maybe the other one by likes of Joyce Burgow, because it just so happens, and it should say in the title, of course, that Partners in True Crime have done some kind of update post in regards to what they're doing, where things are at, and their possible return to this case and coverage. More about that soon when we get onto the post. I'll just do it in the order of what shows up on screen. We can go through some of the comments as well, see what people have had to say in response. I can also provide an alternative perspective on other matters in regards to, I think, the Army page and a familiar face from the past, I believe called Tiffany Shepherd, who gets on well with Justin Roy and a handful of other people. I'm familiar with certain names because of that 1 year anniversary of Noah Presgrove in the past, just before it, where there was a lot of drama kicking off with the Army page, people within it, and getting attacked or questioned or vice versa with the Justice page, and some of Noah Presgrove's family members like Ashley Chadwick, Robin Smith, even Madison Rawlings' sister stepped on in to Noah Presgrove to try and clear the air and make a post just to calm things down. It's very wild at the time. What's been going on since, the return of the odd person here and there, posts being removed. Oh, it sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? But look, this is to provide a perspective that whilst other people can criticize the dark side, people can criticize my channel or the chat, the way it's going. Oh, it's not good, it's so reckless. Oh, we should be here all about the case and focus in on that. Well, let's just remind ourselves that even the light side isn't perfect either, okay? For that full balance. But more so today, we will be focusing in on the Noah Presgrove case, the comparisons, analysis. I'll add my thoughts on if necessary. And then later on, if there's time, I'll even try and get to the comments of my last video, acknowledge what people had to say there. What I do want to say right now, though, is welcome to everyone that's watching this live premiere. Share your live reactions in the chat box on the right-hand side of the screen. And after watching this video, and whether you're watching on catch-up, be sure to drop a comment down below under the video to let me know your thoughts, opinions. If you got any questions, I can respond back to them later, just like I'm responding to the comments today from yesterday's video. And if you are interested in watching last night's video, which was very long, very raw, a lot of energy and much more, it'll be of your interest. Be sure to catch it. You'll find it top right corner where the I symbol is up there. And you'll also find the full playlist as well of the Noah Presgrove case, which I've covered. I think I've uploaded over 240 videos now, which isn't too bad, to be fair. And there will be more videos to come. And there'll be some loose videos as well, where the I symbol is, to catch up on from the last few nights. And for anyone else, if you want to support this channel in a practical way, down below in the comment section, pinned message by me, will be some additional links, one of which additional link to become a member on the channel on YouTube, and the main link, the PayPal one, if you want to support this channel. Links are all down below, pinned comment. Shout out to Tim Daniel last night for becoming a member on the channel. they now have access to some custom emojis as well, which could be interesting. Of course, massive shout out to Brooke Bounds Carter for their super chat last night. Another big boom out of nowhere. Shocking, but positive to see. And credit to anyone else in between, of course, for super chats or stickers last night or the night before, whenever. Very good to see. You know who you are. And without saying the person's name out of respect for privacy, shout out to the individual, the letter K. Much appreciated. Very good to see. With that all being said, today we'll start off first with the Army page, have a brief look there, try and process what's going on, because it's tied with Robin Smith or something. And it just happens that if Robin Smith is watching this video, they might be able to give their thoughts and add on if need be. It's important that today I share with you certain posts some people may never be able to see because you might not have access to Facebook, you might not have an account, or you might not have access to certain groups or pages. I'm bringing it all together today, a bit of a bulk, but some of the latest news and discussions on the matter, also including parts in true crime, of course. Then later, Joyce Bergau's post, Joyce Bergau's post is to do with the reposted parts in true crime. So then we'll move on to, I guess, Tim Daniels' main point and focus, which can be the main theme today. But, you know, collectively, there's all key points. So let's start right now. Well, here we are. So this is actually 3 days ago. First of all, Tiffany Shepherd says, "Hey, y'all. Those that have it, please make sure LE has my number, as I would love to fill them in on the harassment and threats that several individuals have levied against Justin Roy, myself, and several others for months." What's this? Well, it's quite long. "There are no more accusations or finger pointing going on here than any other group, to include the Families Justice page. If you're going to go after one for slander, harassment and threats, you should go after everyone. That includes any group members domesticated elsewhere, partygoers and their family members, investigators working on the case, and everyone else, regardless of who they are, what their status position is. No one is 100% innocent in these groups of the BS, myself included." Wait, what? What's this all about? No one is innocent in any of the Facebook groups, including the person Tiffany Shepherd talking about herself. It's a bit dodgy. But there are those who have taken it further and gone too far at times. Ironically, they're the ones crying wolf now and threatening legal action. Guess what? Screenshots and metadata do not lie. So if you're going to say you're going to do something, then do it. But be prepared for it to blow up in your face. Make sure your hands are clean before trying to point the blame at someone else. Interesting. P.S. Edited before posting per Justin's request, because apparently the content of this screenshot are not accurate. Right. Interesting. So, in terms of no one being innocent, what? Everyone's a bad person in the Nerd Presgrave community. Everyone's done something wrong. Because arguably speaking, I would say I've kept it under control with what I've done. I'd say I've been mostly innocent, arguably one of the most innocent content creators on YouTube. But let's just see the photo screenshot here. Appears to be from Reddit, Nerd Presgrove Review. Supposedly this Reddit page has come up in discussion briefly on the other main Nerd Presgrove page. At the end of the day, I've not looked too deep into what's going on. All I was made aware was that some people commented or tagged me in regards to this Reddit page because of a video that was reposted and shared. People within the page saying thank you for making the video and whatnot. So that was all positive and good to see. As for the light side, may see this Reddit page as a dark place, and it could be for people from the Sofa Sleuth page. Well, whoever, whatever, wherever they are, How I wonder what you are, like a diamond in the sky. Wait, what are we doing? Nursery rhymes? No, man, this is focused time. At the end of the day, if people are going to repost, reshare my videos, that is a positive thing. If people at times may compliment or thank the coverage that I do, that's a big positive. So I will respond back to it. So credit to those who are on the page who have reshared my videos and acknowledged them. It's good to see. You know, you take it from a balanced perspective of people from the light side that may not like this new Reddit page. Just see it from the perspective of, well, at least that they're sharing the likes of my videos, in which the people, some on the light side, do the same. So you might not see eye to eye with them, but there's a common ground in spreading awareness of my coverage on the case so more people get to learn and pick up on different perspectives. There you go. Before it all goes to shit, Warlight Ref establishing a bit of balance already. And obviously, when balance is established, you know, I'm going to be called a bad boy, but it is where it is. But what's actually mentioned on screen, that needs to be acknowledged, and just click on that, bit of a black background. Unfortunately, Facebook is being dodgy where it shifts everything to the left-hand side, which annoys me, to be honest. Public denouncement. Justin Roy has been harassing innocent people, particularly women, for some time, both publicly, privately. We've learned that he has now taken that to a whole new level. Ellie is involved. We want to join Noah's family in publicly condemning the actions of both Justin and his Facebook army page, which the family has requested to be taken down. If anyone still chooses to associate with this person or this page, be advised law enforcement is involved and you may be called upon for statements. Right, interesting. So what? Noah Presgrove's family want the army page shut down. I do remember in the past there was some tension around the 1 year anniversary mark. Remember Victor Presgrove as well. I don't know if it was about kicking people or advising people to jump ship, leave the army page, come to the justice page. There was that at the time. It got up the backs of some people from the army page, because it's like, how dare you say that and tell people, our members, to go here or there, who should be able to do it out of free will. But we'll check the comments. Don't worry, we'll check the comments from different perspectives. Where's the accountability for his army? He's so proud of that page, but he doesn't stop any of the lies and rumours from spreading. Kaden Pressy timeline is wrong. Why not own that? There's no video. Why not own that? You ran with rumours from an alleged partygoer's parent that have been debunked by the autopsy of partygoers themselves. Why not own that? Why does Justin Roy peddle lies to his army, then hide his hands like a child? Own your Justin Roy. Save your followers embarrassment, because there is no hope for you. Your credibility is lost. And this person says, yes, we need to take a stand on that, but I also heard that he's back on the family page. What, Justin is back on the family page? Well, if that's the case, then the family must be okay with him then, and shouldn't have a problem with the army page. I'm not understanding that. He most definitely needs to take a step back and cool as jets and quit attacking sick women and all the others that had nothing to do with him stating things as facts. He needs to just own up to what he has said, to try to put the blame on somebody else. That's third grade level when you try to point fingers the way he's been trying to do so. What we should do now is actually transition onto the comments section down below in the post, what Tiffany was getting at, and see what people have had to say. We'll just keep it to the most relevant, highest rated ones, just be time efficient. We got Melanie Fagan, also known as Melanie Feline. Let's just see what this screenshot is, because it kind of looks a little familiar. This is actually a point of view from their perspective watching my video, whichever one that is. And Brooke Carter had said, gross, you are showing your perv side more and more. That just sent chills and made my stomach hurt. I think someone needs to speak to your daughter, make sure she is okay. Okay. I can't speak to you anymore. Someone needs to check on your daughter and make sure she is okay. You've gone over the whatever. Right. So this appears to be Brooke calling out Justin Roy, responding to him. and Mel is just giving a perspective from that. Now, unfortunately, when I do click on photos, it kicks me off. That's Facebook for you. It's really dumb, but nothing I can do about it. Beth Carr says, they are the ones who need mental help. Stating that Kaden Pressy has mental disabilities, they're so vile and right down disgusting. They all make me sick. Mel, it's so wrong, and this is wrong to do to Noah and his family. It needs to stop. And yes, I saw those posts as well from the grandma that worked with special needs kids or something. That one is a doozy and should be posted also. There's also a super long post that shares things allegedly shared between Alicia Pressy, also known as Alicia Lee, Kaden's mom, and an admin of a Reddit group. And if those bullet items in that post are real, that is very private and legally protected. I'm not too sure what that's about. Information about Kaden Pressy and his health and well-being, and I did not share that one because it's even more gross. If that message was real, Alicia was reaching out to someone privately in confidence for help. The things she wrote that her son is going through is heartbreaking. Then they say they think he has whatever they said, special needs or something. I don't remember the exact words. All sounds very much like these people are desperately grasping at straws, throwing everything they can at the people they want to shut the F up, as BBC said. I mean, she said that's what she wants. If Justin refuses, we can all get a pretty good idea of what they're thinking based on their own words. This has gone too far now. Everybody, me included, has said things in emotion here. I think we all need to take a step back, take a minute to think and just calm down. But this is vile, it's not okay. The victim of Noah, that is who we're here for. Well, it's a good thing that I do my videos, because here and there, yeah, we'll do a bit of coverage on some drama and conflict, but that's for longer term reasons, so people can learn how to improve and others can learn on how to adapt or avoid problems in the future with the psychology behind it. Beth Carr, I agree with you. Very wrong to attack anyone, but especially anyone with disabilities. I mean, none of us are perfect and neither are they. They're sick, and whoever is leaking this information is even worse. So what? In recent times, some conversation with Alicia in regards to Kaden or someone has been leaked. Is this yet another thing leaked at the same time or later on? Kind of like with the private police recorded interview in the Dropbox. What's going on here? Amy, in my opinion, Justin Roy should sue her, BBC, for defamation of character by calling him a perv. That is not an opinion, but an insinuation on her part. See, the thing is, there might be a time where people may question me or have a go at me and say, Ref, why are you allowing this and that? At the end of the day, people should be able to control themselves on what they say and what they don't. And if they do act in certain ways or say bad things, it needs to be documented, archived, so anyone can see it themselves and maybe use it for evidence in the future. There's a good reason behind it long term, right? But what I will say is, if people do say, oh, but Justin Roy being labelled this and that, it's not good. I understand. Look, at the end of the day, if you go back to my channel, my previous videos in the past, I was publicly falsely accused of being a trafficker. There's been recent time in this case and community where people have falsely accused me or insinuated that I'm some kind of sexist individual, that I am the next Andrew Tate, okay? That's what's happened as well. But, I defend myself and then I move on. Does it damage me in the process? If you address it as soon as possible, you respond back in the appropriate way, and if you've already got a following of people that have, level-headed reasoning ability, it'll be somewhat okay. Does it need to be revenge or some kind of backlash on others for causing that problem in the first place? Yeah. See, you will have the odd obsessed channel out there that obviously did their thing towards me, and they might still go on now. Who knows? I wouldn't be fully aware, but I tried doing what needs to be done, and YouTube are incompetent. They can't do their thing correctly all the time, so there's only so much I can do, right? All I can mainly do is just keep on covering the case. As long as appropriate language wording is used in the moment of when you're defending yourself, and then onwards in the future, you can kind of minimize, reduce the damage at times. It shouldn't happen in the first place, right? But like, this is the thing, when it comes to Justin Roy, passionate individual, cares about the case, but sometimes when you're too passionate, or if you care too much, or you push too hard, you feel like you're genuinely doing the right thing, but from a different perspective, it might rub off the wrong way, or they might just not like what you're doing, or like that you're getting close to the supposed truth, that they might fight back and say something in response to try and harm you, so it damages your credibility. And then if you do get close to finding anything, people then won't believe in you because of the damage that's already been done. Yeah, just in general speaking, that can happen. It has happened. It's happened to me in previous cases. So maybe sometimes you can use it as a possible measuring tool to getting close to the supposed truth. But in between, Beth Carr says to Amy, I agree, and threatening him with his kids. I know there's that other comment by BBC about karma catching up on Justin and feeling sorry for his kids. That was another reference of a previous comment. We got Susan Edenfield Williams, shout out to Susan, says exactly. And when I commented it then in our Reddit page, they banned me from theirs, and I don't care. I don't associate or play with those evil demons. Devil walking amongst good people. Oh no. Part 2. Right. I'll click on it, but it's probably going to kick me off because it's so annoying. Something about, this must be the additional bit with what Brooke was getting at before in one of her previous comments. Action towards people. I hope the girls have contacted LE and have safety measures in place. According to years and years of research and studies, his behaviour is escalating rapidly. Add in his godlike persona because of his army group and the amount of followers, women especially, who encourage and agree with his behaviour, had made the situation extremely volatile. I would, as a mother of a young lady myself, have a great concern for the safety. I would make sure authorities are completely aware of his escalating behaviour. Sorry if this was really wordy. I don't want to lose something. Okay. There we go. It didn't kick me off this time. That's a miracle. Some more responses. Not to you, but the original comment. Bitch, F you. Right, so I think Tiffany Shepherd is calling BBC a bitch. So, you know what it just goes to show? Is that when Warlight Ref used the B word in general, and some people maybe on the army page got triggered, misinterpreted it, and associated it that it applied to them, even though there was no proof or evidence of that taking place. Absolutely guaranteed that, okay? It was just said in general. A typical line, nothing too deep about it, but people got triggered. That now we're seeing it from the light side perspective of people directly calling someone a bitch. So it just goes to separate one from the rest. When I use some of my words, I'm just using it in general. When it comes to insulting people, it's not so much insulting, it's just making a valid observation. But I do it in a different way with a bit more appropriate language and wording. If people are quick to jump in on the dark side with their behaviour, their wording and language, but then you see it from the positive or the light side perspective, is it any better at times? All I'm saying is, someone acts a certain way. Do you meet them at that same energy wavelength level? Oh, because they did it, because they said it, then that means you should too. Should you lower yourself in your mindset, in your mind? Do you feel that it's worth lowering yourself to someone else's low standards? Or should you try, and I don't like using the line, okay? Because it's so overused, but I'll just mention it now because I can't think of an alternative. Or do you become a better person and keep on going? You should be able to defend yourself. You should be able to call someone a plum or a prat at times for how they may act and what they may say and do to you. But if you can move on or continue forwards, possibly, maybe try that. So I've tried it in many different ways myself when it's come to drama conflict. I've defended myself, I've gone into overkill mode, I've destroyed everything, total annihilation, but it's all under control and it's worked out. Certain energy expelled, yes. And then other times I've done F all and I've just continued on, and that's worked somewhat okay as well. Different situations, of course, and how you respond back. It might be a bit easier for me to move on or move forward because I have a channel, I have videos to do. There is a level of responsibility as well. Whereas it could be harder for someone who's just a viewer, a consumer. What can they do? How can they move on? How can they distract themselves from the darkness that may be going on at the time? It can be a bit harder. I think there's some more screenshots from Mel's point of view. Person called Sherry to Brooke. This guy is seeming more and more unhinged with each passing day. It's almost scary. His behaviour is not normal. No matter what proof is presented, you will never get through to him because he really wants the kids to have murdered their friend. Very strange behaviour. And the more he speaks, the more unstable he appears. So I'm guessing Sherry is talking about Justin. Mel. Sad because he said over and over that that's not what he wants at all. It's interesting to me when they say everyone sees it, even the cops. This is a manipulation tactic where a person will try to say that everybody thinks a certain way, so basically they are right. It's a way to influence the public because people are swayed by public opinion at times, especially those that don't take the time to investigate themselves. I know I certainly don't feel this way, so no, sorry, not everyone agrees with you. It can come down to the presence as well. There we go, Justin Roy. In fact, I think the majority of people on all the pages agree that foul play is involved to one extent or another. On all pages. So, if you're saying all pages, Justin, do you mean the Justice, the case discussion, the Sofa Sleuth page? Does that include Reddit as well? Mel, to Justin. I mean, he didn't do this to himself, but somehow it's just an unfortunate accident. We should do what now? Leave it, forget him, just stop thinking, stop wondering, stop trying to figure it out, just shut up. Yeah, I don't think that's what we should do, actually. I think we should not ever stop talking until Noah is able to get his justice, and we should fight for him and never stop, because from what I've learned about that young man, I don't believe he would stop for his friends. He seems like he was just way too much light, way too much good people, and someone couldn't stand that they didn't hold a candle to that young man, so they took him away. They had no right to do that. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed. I'm so sorry, Justin. I'm so sorry this is happening to you and to Kaden and Alicia and the family and the party kids too. If anyone there had a part in this, it will come out. But if they didn't, they should be treated as innocent until found not to be. We can form opinions. Okay. A little bit more to Andrea Love. Same, and I'm realising I'm being triggered by it due to my own experience with this behaviour. I know it very well. So I'll do what I'm suggesting here and take myself into time out. Hoping this post won't devolve into more chaos. And the truth is good to put out there, and for whatever reason, this is the truth of what happens when you speak up. For now, my opinion, if someone doesn't agree with you, they think they have the right to destroy you, and they don't. Good night. Okay? Don't care if it's accident or not. Someone did this and needs to be held accountable. Accident or not, some kind of justice. There should be some common ground there, right? Susan to Justin, I definitely feel there was foul play. Okay, fair enough. Beth, I'll be the first one to say that I've even been attacked in here by BBC and all of her sleazy sleuth buddies, and yes, it's BS, and now they cry wolf when it gets heated, more deflection and lies from them, all simply because we want the truth and justice for Noah. So yes, please do give them my hashtag as well. Attacking one's children is sick. There's a bit more there. Just want to be wary of time, that's all. Mel, screenshot. Justin Roy responds, with the way they attack, deflect, gaslight, threaten, it has to be, or they know exactly what happened to Noah, one or the other. I hope they all get charged for lying and covering this up. Brooke responds, accusing the girls again, you're obsessed, perv. So that line keeps being used. Exactly, look how they can say and do whatever they want. It's sickening, says Justin. The one whose name is Just in Time has joined the fake page. What, the Reddit one? Phew, I'm not banned from our Reddit page. I didn't get in trouble for blasting them. Oh, hold on. What's going on here? It's sad that we have to even worry about this. So many people keep saying how scared they are to post and it's not okay. I guess that's the point though, scare or intimidate. So this thing, you might be scared to post on Facebook, you might be scared to post on Reddit, but you know, you got YouTube, for example, me, myself, I can post what the fuck I want on YouTube, providing it's within reason, right, and it's done appropriately, and it follows guidelines, which it tends to do so, even if false claims are made along the way. So I don't feel as restricted myself as other people might. When you got your own platform or your own page, there's a bit more freedom. Now, if everything that I've done and said, if I transferred that into comments and posts on different Facebook pages, maybe I could have been blocked. Maybe I could have been banned in 0.5 seconds. Who knows? I could have broken the world record. Susan says to Mel, Warlike Ref and some others have said they were trying to be made silenced. Everyone has to look out and keep close. Yeah, so I have been silenced when 3 of my videos from the past, in 2024, early on when covering the case, were falsely reported amongst 29 videos in total. The others were okay, but these 3 specific ones, well, regarded by YouTube as I did nothing wrong, I did everything right, no reports to a false, to a fake, I didn't need to do anything. And then fast forward into 2025, those 3 videos are now removed from my channel. To do with Jack Newton, to do with Caleb Newton, to do with the Warwick boating accident, putting that into perspective and learning about that, to even Caleb Newton's post, his public Facebook statement, and Jack Newton's text conversation with Caleb the father. They're the type of videos that were taken from my channel, simply documenting what was going on or what had gone on in the past and making sense of it with balanced wording and a mindset. At the end of the day, that type of stuff, was taken, which isn't fair. And then in more recent time on Reddit, a lot of my posts on the main Reddit page have been taken down, which could more so be because of false reports being made and then moderators having no choice but to remove them, or it being auto-removed by Reddit because of the false reports. Who knows? But bad things have happened, right? And it just kind of shows that, bad things can happen externally, of course, when you got less control. But it can still happen at times, even on your own channel, when you do have more control. Things can be ripped away. What else do we have? I wasn't in their little hating group because I don't associate with people like them. Boss Babe is permanently banned from the No Presgrove review page. Right. That's what it says there. Hello, you've been permanently banned from participating because you broke the community's rules. You won't be able to post or comment, but you can still view and subscribe to it. Okay. Kicked out for defending Noah. That tells me a lot, says Mel. I hope return. Okay, so I've got that. If you want to pause the video, you can. What's this one? It's just interesting. These are lots of different points of views from my recent videos. It's one way to acknowledge the comments, I guess, because depending on what video it is on, it might be hard to find them all. Save it for the cops is the username. Interesting. You have some serious issues. I know you're scrambling now. That golden boy you manipulated has been proven wrong, but just stop. You're the only one making things worse for your family and yourself. Everyone sees it. I mean, everyone. Cops have always known it now. We all do. Try salvaging whatever might be left of your reputation instead. You're digging yourself deeper. It's embarrassing. Right. All I want to say is, everybody out there that might be doubting Kaden Pressy, Alicia, or Justin Roy, and, be skeptical, if not more, or feel suspicious of them, and that they're doing bad things, supposedly, as it's been labelled, what would the motive be for it at the end of the day? What, you think that those type of people are responsible for Noah's death? Hopefully, no human misunderstands that. I'm just trying to put it into perspective. Those that may feel skeptical, suspicious of someone for doing bad things in the case or community, why? Do you think that way? Do you feel that way on top because you feel that they are responsible, caught up within the case, that they know something, others don't? Because if anything bad was happening, what would be the motive for it? This person has been very helpful, useful with good information, retired LE. No, Presgrove. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, Clemens. Okay. Right, yeah. Okay. So, I don't know who that person is. Just wanted to quick check. What's this one all about? Facebook post from Robin, Boss Bay, responsible spend. It doesn't look like you are taking anything with a grain of salt. Instead, you think we are to believe anyone from the party house. And another thing, do not come here and label Noah as a couch hopper. He is dead. And why we wanting justice for him? Keep your nasty downgrading comments to yourself. You sound like the jealous people that didn't like him. We don't want haters in this group. That's how you want us to see him. The footage and information we've seen from many others show us that Noah was a good kid, that he was loved by lots of people. Didn't disrespect him when he can't speak anymore to defend himself. We have our opinions. It's not the same as yours. Do not be disrespectful, period. Enough said. Is this on the main Justice Noah Presgrove page, or whatever it's called? Okay, which I'll click the right button to kick out. What the F is she suggesting? I don't like her tone. Maybe someone should go check on her kids. What is she deflecting? Be careful, Justin. There's a lot of screenshots, isn't there? There's a lot, more than what I thought. I don't mind everyone will troll. Like I said, it doesn't fit the narrative. Everyone wants to be some horrific murder story, but I don't think that's the case. I would encourage you to just reach out to people who were there at the party. I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate your comment. Okay. I think we'll have to speed up shortly because it's dragging on a bit. Justin says, well, another lie from Sarah Long. Noah did not bring any alcohol and was not drinking yet. Lies just keep adding up with her. Brooke responds, Noah damn sure did bring alcohol to the party. Shut up on things you don't know about. Interesting. See, the thing is, obviously, Brooke wasn't there at the party to see it firsthand. Neither was Justin Roy. Does Kaden Pressy remember Noah turning up drunk or not, or with alcohol? I wonder. Was Kaden Pressy aware that when Georgia showed up at 10:30 p.m. Sunday night, was she drunk or not? It'd be good to see it from, some of the party goers' perspectives of whether people were drunk or not at the time or later, and whether they had alcohol with them or not. Just as an extra layer. Justin here. The fact that he had to even take a polygraph speaks volumes. That's in regards to Jack, isn't it? Brooke responds, you try too hard. The phone ping jumps are the only reason. Go seek help, bud. Your obsession with these kids is sickening. Right, so because of a supposed phone ping in the incorrect area near to Noah's body, does questioning as in, oh, you were there? Maybe we need to ask you some questions and try and clear that up, because why were you there at that time? Are you responsible? Do you know something? You become a person of interest, of course. If it's interpreted that your phone pinged in the key area, the hot spot, where Noah was, last was, where died at, whatever, you'll be treated as a person of interest, done for questioning and more. I understand that. But if it is down to poor signal and it pings you in the wrong place, well, based off that mentality, wouldn't that apply to Tyler Hardy at 5:46 in the morning when he tried calling for the first time and it was pure static? The call failed due to a bad signal. So if due to a bad signal, if you used to trace back that call, wouldn't it ping in a completely different area compared to where he was actually at the highway itself and near to Noah's body? I'd like to know that. That'd be interesting. I'm not even in their Reddit group. I don't even comment on the page either. And I got banned last night because they did not like what I told them in our group. Wait, so you can actually get banned by a Reddit page or group even when you're not a part of it? I never knew that. Wasn't aware. What's this one by Mel? Brooke says, I can't speak to you anymore. Someone needs to check on your daughter. It's that one again. You've gone over the edge. You're sick, need help. Just in time. Not Justin Roy, but another different person called Justin Time. He's accused everyone else, so why not throw Kaden into the mix? As Alicia has said, Kaden was right next to Noah. What? When? Mention of FBI. Whole thing sickens me. Support to Justin. Person, I don't know what stand your ground. Groupies are sick and twisted, says Carolyn. Of course, you can pause the video if you like to see any more. Another person talking to BBC about Justin Roy on Warlight Rath's page. See, if anyone ever had a go at me, my channel, or comments, I mean, people should be grateful, as in that it documents the conversation, so then people in future posts can take screenshots and then refer back to them if needed. But here, what's this? E. Hendley. I'm sure I don't need to tell you this, but I'd regret not voicing it. Roy's behaviour is extremely disturbing by all standards. It's apparent he has had a break, or needs a break, could become unhinged in his behaviour, action towards people. I hope the girls have contacted Ellie and have safety measures in place. According to years and years of research and studies, his behaviour is escalating. Now, we saw that one, didn't we, before? Sounds like it's repeating itself. What's this all about? We've got Shannon Scott as well. Justin Roy says, has this lady seen some of the girls' TikToks and pictures? I don't think so. They're pretty vulgar, disgusting in my opinion. They definitely don't have to worry about me, I promise you that. I mean, in regards to mentioning, have you seen the girls' TikTok pages and pictures of what they do and get involved in? Probably not the best thing to say, Justin Roy. The only reason why I say that is because it could give the opposition ammunition, so then they could throw it back in your face and say, oh, you've been watching them on TikTok and watching the videos and photos. Ooh. You see, sometimes, whether you're dealing with resistance or not, as much as you may want to defend yourself or add on points or counter points, you've got to do it in a way so that you don't dig yourself into a possible hole, or do it in a way where you don't give the opposition ammunition, because they can then turn that ammunition and then weaponize it against you. And that's why sometimes you will get a repetitive cycle of being attacked over and over again. You might need to change your approach or change the wording and language so you're better off and you can move on with the case. A bit like damage limitation. I don't know if people will understand me. It's a bit of a higher level, that, but, you know, we'll get there. Shannon says, you are not the one stalking them to harass them. So funny they're accusing you. Just right, this right here actually makes me mad. This is not true. 100% slander. I've never inboxed anyone first. The only one to ever claim that was Nana Bentley, and she shared all of the screenshots on the sofa page. 3 to 4 times I clearly stated I could care less about anyone's opinion and why it changed. I just asked her what made it change, what was the cause of her opinion to change, and she would not tell me. In fact, she got defensive. It was weird. And for the record, everyone has the right to whatever opinion they want. My opinion and theories are not facts. But as my opinion, I believe there was foul play and there was death. Okay. His family, community deserves to know the truth. And then what else is said? I sure wish we could hear all the party goers' interviews like we did with Kaden. Or I wished all of them shared their life 360 and phone information, then we could all see what is what. Well, what you mean apply that to Kaden as well? But they want to talk about harassment and slander. They have attacked me and my family and my kids for over a year now. My kids are young, weren't even at the party, yet they slander them all the time, especially George. I hope Ellie contacts everyone on his page so they will see the truth, or just go read the sofa page. Talk about harassment, slander. Look at all the manipulation in this post. Absolutely ridiculous. They know foul play is involved to one extent or the other. Ellie has been involved this whole time. This post came from Reddit, which I'm not a part of. Go read for yourself. Really disgusting, vile, narcissistic. But you can see what we've been dealing with for over a year now, all because I want the truth. If the truth was told from the beginning, we wouldn't be here. This was ridiculous, and attacking sick woman or women that made a post about me publicly and allowed grown men to slander my family and kids. She didn't seem too sick doing that and kept inboxing me for hours. Yes, I have all those too, so they don't get taken out of context like a certain group likes to do. Again, just tell the truth and get all this over with. What really happened to Noah Presgrove? I believe these same ones on the Reddit servers telling all the lies about all of us, they banned me and others. We've seen that post again. The gaslighting, manipulation from them, guess through. Right, we've seen that comment already. And it kind of goes round and round in circles. That was a lot of responses, to be honest. Oh, it's kicking me there. Here's just a small taste of what was posted on Warlight Ref's YouTube the other day. It's from BBC to Justin Roy. Why is this behaviour okay? We've probably seen it before, haven't we? From the screenshots just before. Exactly. Yeah, how can they do this? I've never done anything like that to anyone. Made my blood boil. Tiffany is posting other sites where it's happening. It looks like a takedown to me, allegedly. This is way past someone sharing opinions or theories of what happened the night. Should not be allowed to be posted. Okay. There's a lot going on there. I'm not ignoring the comments. It's just because there's so much going on and I do need to catch up with the other stuff as well. Pam, I'm asking what the girls know what they did because why is it their parents and friends are attacking everyone? Doesn't agree with them. Wait, Michelle Ray Brummett is referring to Pam Feldman Garrison. Pam Feldman Garrison is the one that made references to what? Alicia Lee and something like the walls are closing in and poor Kaden Pressy, the pawn, caught up in it all and either bad things or karma needs to catch up on Alicia. And I think some swear words or insults were used by Pam as well from that screenshot conversation in the background. Or it could be a different Pam, who knows. Very interesting. It can be hard to remember everything, right? But most of it will be documented at some point. Now, a mouthful, was it not? We'll get to that post. Justin Roy, yeah, it's from a different perspective. We'll get on later because it's got more comments and stuff. Right, this is the latest one from 1 hour ago. Tiffany Shepherd, when, where, and how? Because I can honestly say and prove that Robin Smith has maybe sent me 20 words ever, and other than her bullshit comment on Ashley Chadwick's video, she has never told me anything. So Tiffany Shepherd is kind of responding there to Robin Smith, Noah Presgrove's aunt. So it goes to show that to some small extent that maybe not everybody is all on the same wavelength, even if this page is to do with being in line with Noah's family and Noah and Justice, but it's not exactly smooth running. Besides, I already knew that Dalen managed the fundraiser, but he himself has said that Robin and Ashley are running the show. That doesn't sound too good. Supposedly, someone made a post about me in response to my post, but I don't see anything. Anyone want to post screenshots? Right. The admin team removed your post in Noah Presgrove case discussion group. The post by Tiffany Shepherd. Did Robin and Ashley ever hire a private investigator that they did the GoFundMe for? Also, anyone want to post the Cliff Notes version or whatever? Gifts removed. What is that the reasoning for why it was removed? Robin, Noah's aunt, explained this to Tiffany. Dalen is in charge of the GoFundMe for Noah's PIs. Right, this whole GoFundMe and the money situation and the receipts, it definitely brings me back to that upcoming, at the time, 1 year anniversary of Noah Presgrove's death, where all hell was breaking loose. Tiffany Shepherd was questioning, or maybe more so other people questioning the GoFundMe. Someone at some point on the Army page may have did a post saying that the family of Noah Presgrove are not doing enough or they don't care enough, but some people on the Army page are putting in more effort. And that went down very bad and it caused a lot of issues. Well, comment-wise, when clicking on it, it just doesn't work. It ends up kicking me off. So I don't know what's going on here with this post. It seems a bit dodgy, or at least Facebook is playing up once again. Doesn't surprise me there. Okay, so we've done that. And that's from the Army page perspective. What has it mainly consisted of? Drama, conflict, but understandably, people defending themselves or defending people that they care about. What I'm getting at is, it just goes to show that when elsewhere can be criticised, it just goes to show that here as well, things can be tense. It's tense all around. There's conflict all around. People are getting attacked, others defending, some defending, others getting attacked, all over the place. But here on my channel, it's a bit more under control. And that can be demonstrated maybe a bit later on. I think what we do need to do, though, now is head on to some of the other pages. What you see on screen was 1 day ago. Credit to Joyce Burgow for reposting it, sharing it, for those that may have not seen already, onto the case discussion group. Partners in True Crime. Most people will be familiar with them. Partners in True Crime, the YouTube channel responsible for doing the interviews with the likes of Robin Smith, Ashley Chadwick, as of recent. Well, the last one that was done at least. And also doing that pre-recorded interview with Jack Newton. And the interview with Kaden Pressy, part 1 and part 2, which was never publicly released, which is a bit, Interview with Justin Roy T. They've made an update on January 11th, 2025. I figured I'd help spread the word for people questioning about why they haven't done one or what's going on with them and the lack of coverage on the case. So, which image do we start with first? Try and zoom in if possible. Apologies about it being on the left-hand side. Okay, Partners in True Crime on their Facebook page or group, whatever you want to call it. Hello, Partners in True Crime. We wanted to wish all our listeners a happy new year, to check in with you since it's been a while. We want to thank all of you for your loyalty to our channel. We appreciate, love you all. We apologize for cancelling both podcasts this week, but we are in Los Angeles, California, dealing with the devastating fires that surround us and are destroying our city. It's hard to even write about this. My heart is broken for the people in Los Angeles, friends, co-workers, neighbors, strangers. So many people have lost so much and are continuing to deal with the devastation and loss. It's just mind-blowing that something like this can happen. Rob and I are very grateful. Does that move on to the next one? Yes, it does. We're very grateful that we are at home and safe. On Tuesday evening, we received an alert at 11 p.m. telling us that a fire was only 8 miles away and growing rapidly, that we were in an evacuation yellow zone, which meant that if the fire continued to advance, we would have to evacuate. We prepared a go bag, went to get gas. What do you pack into your car when told you have to leave your home in the middle of the night? I frantically grabbed... Oh, what's that doing there? Get off. I don't know why it does that. Probably would have been easier reading it that way. No, it doesn't. Click off there. Let me try again. I frantically grabbed pictures, cards from our kids, passports, etc. But my anxiety was at an all-time high. I've been through major earthquakes, major hurricanes, but fires terrifying. We anxiously waited to see if we were going to have to leave our beautiful home that we bought after we were married. The thought of leaving was making me sick. We spoke to our friends and neighbours nearby and came up with an exit plan. We can't go south because the roads are shut. If we go north, the traffic would be insane. What if we go east? We prayed as we sat glued to the news, and luckily at 1 a.m, by the grace of God, the winds turned towards the uninhabited forest away from residential areas and businesses, and the alert was cancelled, but we stayed up all night just in case. The next day, we lost power and heard the heartbreaking news that our friends in the Eaton fire had lost their home and their business. Then later that day, we were watching in real time on the news as fire blew up in Hollywood out of nowhere, and my heart sank. I used to live on those streets for years, hiked every day, spent so much of my career working in Hollywood. Many of my friends who live in Hollywood were told that they had minutes to evacuate, and the panic and anxiety started all over again. We offered our home to anyone who needed somewhere to go, but the risk of us having to evacuate was still high. Thankfully, the Hollywood fire was put down quickly, but watching 4 or 5 fires burning through your city simultaneously is horrifying. We ask all of you to keep the people of Los Angeles in your prayers. So many people have lost everything. It's unfathomable how quickly this has happened. Heartbreaking to see homes destroyed, communities leveled, iconic places gone. We're not out of harm's way yet. Right, where is it about the no press group stuff? We want to thank all for loyalty and support to our channel. We do have some updates that we want to share. Oh, here we go. We do hope to record episodes of My Uncle's Escaped Alcatraz and The Serial Killer Whisperer with Laura Brand next week, but may have to postpone due to the fires. Fair enough. What happened to Noah Presgrove? That's why we're all here, aren't we? We know that many of you have been speculating on why we have not continued the podcast on Noah. Although we have not been producing podcast about Noah's case, we're still working on it. We'll have news for you about this very soon. Please be kind to everyone involved in this case. It has been a devastating tragedy for Noah's family and the people who loved him. Our hearts are with them. Well, arguably in recent time, it's been the complete opposite, hasn't it? Because there's been attacks all over the place, probably at an all-time high in energy levels. Not always for the right reasons. But interesting. because I know Partners in True Crime, or Rob himself, did say that big things are coming very soon, and that was back in 2024, and a month or two later, nothing big actually happened. Do you remember that? It was interesting. We do have new shows in regards to Noah Presgrove that will be launching, so get ready for 2025. We'll send out more information about them shortly. We wish all of you and your families a healthy and happy new year and stay strong. See, this is the thing. That's how I interpreted it. We do have new shows that will be launching, but what does that mean? Are the new shows in regards to what's mentioned above in terms of what happened to Noah Presgrove? Or are the new shows more so to do with the recorded episodes of Uncle's Escaped Alcatraz and a Serial Killer? Who knows? Could be a mixture of both. If any shows are launched in 2025, will it be more interviews, and what could that possibly lead to? It's interesting, isn't it? Now, am I able to zoom out? I think so. Comment-wise, what people saying here? Okay, I've just zoomed out. Got to be careful because it's flicking me off screen. I don't want that to happen. I hope pray next podcast will be on the arrest of the person or persons. It's one of the individuals will find if the heart come forwards. Heather Robinson, in my opinion, Partners in True Crime really dropped the ball on this one. They repeated and reported false information without doing their due diligence. Now that the truth is out, they should own up to their mistakes. It was obvious that they were biased in thinking that foul play and police corruption was going on. The way they treated Kaden's interview versus Jack's was completely cringeworthy and biased. They essentially babied Kaden whilst treating Jack with suspicion, even allowing his recorded interview to be picked apart by the family of Noah. What's even more striking is that since Kaden and his mom's interview, they've both been caught in lies and have changed their stories multiple times. This blatant inconsistency raises serious questions about their credibility. It's clear they were more focused on the sensationalism than factual reporting. Comparing this case to Molly and Colt was a stretch, and it's obvious they're chasing drama than seeking truth. Where are we at now? It's a shame, really. Podcasters have a responsibility to report accurately, especially when it comes to sensitive topics like true crime. If you ask me, you should really have a degree in crime investigations or prior law enforcement experience to be a true crime podcaster. That way you'd have a solid foundation in evidence analysis, investigation procedures, legal system. Without expertise, it's easy to get lost in speculation, misinformation. See, at the end of the day, some people will regard me as a true crime podcaster, but all I am is a YouTuber, content creator, hybrid that just happens to cover true crime, mysteries, missing people. At the end of the day, when it comes to YouTube, you don't need a degree, you don't need a PhD, you don't need a master's, you don't need F-all in that. All you need is some somewhat okay internet connection and a device to record and upload on, and then you do whatever you like and say whatever you like, and hopefully it's within reason and it follows guidelines, and you just do the best you can. So you don't need all the fancy stuff in the world. You don't need all the paper in the world either, but yeah. Depends what role you are within a case as well, how invested, how deep you are into a case too. The deeper you are in and the more involved, well, then you've got to be more careful. Response-wise, very well stated. It's very odd why they kept half of Kaden and Alicia's interview hidden, the part 2 one. Why wasn't it released in its entirety? Why, when it was finally put out there by someone, everyone was so mad? Oh, on the Sofa Sleuth page. You're only telling your truth, why hide part of it? Unless, of course, it isn't Kaden's truth, but instead someone else feeding him what to say. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting, like, for Partners in True Crime to record that interview, Kaden and Alicia, and then to restrict it afterwards and then not release it public. What's the point of doing it in the first place? See, at least to my knowledge, the purpose of Partners in True Crime and the videos that they've done and the interviews is giving someone a voice to spread awareness and the supposed truth and from a person's perspective, and then relay it publicly onto the channel so everyone can see and learn. If there was like a police recorded interview It's not used for content. It's not primarily uploaded publicly because it's a part of the case. There is formal, serious procedures and legal reasons as well to why it's private for most part of it. But partners in true crime are not police. They're not law enforcement. Obviously, they'll have their roles and formal positions and whatever they get up to in their life and the responsibilities. But in terms of the YouTube channel and what they're known to do, upload videos and podcasts and interviews to share information, news and learning. But on this one particular occasion, this part 2 one with Kaden and Alicia to be held back and restricted. Well, if that was really the case, why did it take, an hour or two to record it, to get through it, and then afterwards say, you know what, we're not going to post it public, or you know what, can you privatize it? We don't want you lot to post it onto your channel. What was the point in agreeing to do the interview in the first place if it was not going to be publicly posted? I mean, at what point was it decided that that particular part 2 interview was to be held back? And for what reason exactly? And what good does it do? And when will it be released? And will it ever be released? Because if it's never going to be released, then what's the point holding on to it in the background then? Is it supposed to be for the police? Is it handed over to the police and that's why it can't be revealed? If it's for other issues or other misunderstandings where it could cause people to be attacked or, all that typical drama, petty stuff and whatnot, what was the point of doing the interview in the first place? What's the point in doing some kind of public interview or pre-recorded interview for the public to then just say, you know what, well, I'm not going to bother now? Just seemed like a bit of a waste of time, to be honest. I think you're right. The fact that they withheld part of the interview raises so many red flags. If they were genuinely seeking truth and transparency, why not release the entire conversation? The backlash when the full recording came out is also telling. It's almost as if they were trying to control the narrative. And your point about Kaden potentially being coached is chilling. It's clear that partners in true crime handling of this case was problematic. Oh boy, so it's taken a bit of a dark turn. That was my same thought. When I witnessed the visceral reaction to the whole interview being released, I've been trying to find if partners in true crime ever acknowledged the few that tagged them questioning why they didn't release the interview in its entirety. Did you happen to recall if they ever did? Well, someone actually tagged partners in true crime on a different Facebook page, whether it was the case discussion or the army page. And it was, hey, partners in true crime, are you aware that your private part 2 interview is actually being publicly posted on the Sofa Sleeve page? And I think is it Cindy Dorfman, the wife to Rob, ended up giving a thumbs up or a smiley face like, oh yeah, whatever. And that was it. What did that mean? Some people said, oh, it's them being sarcastic or them kind of like teasing and it's not a big deal. I don't know, it was a bit weird. Do people actually remember that? I saw it with my own eyes at the time. Probably recorded it in a video of mine too. What's this? I also do not see them ever doing another episode on Noah's case. I think they're just trying to appease the masses. This whole case just makes me sad. The lies have gotten out of control. It's like watching a runaway train fueled by half-truths, inflated egos, and the need to be believed right even went wrong. Completely agree with you. What's even more disturbing is that partners in true crime never addressed the discrepancies in Kaden's interview despite people calling them out on it. They claimed it was 2-hour, 2-part interview, but the second part was only 10 minutes. Yeah, that one. I remember that. When confronted, they deflected and never provided a clear explanation. Wait, so that part 2, which was publicly revealed of the 10 minutes, was that the first 10 minutes of the private, never really released, with the exception of Sofa Sleeve page posting it, part 2 interview? Or not? I don't know why it followed over. Why, to be honest, that 10-minute little interview with Kaden, if that would be from the original part 1 interview, that was better, that 10-minute interview, than the first 59-minute one. Their sudden decision to pull back and let LE handle the case seems like a convenient excuse to save face. It's clear they were backing individuals who weren't being truthful, including Justin Roy, release of Kaden's full interview. Police recording exposed the lies. Partners in true crime silence on the matter is deafening. The failure to report on these developments and issue an apology is a stark reminder of the questionable journalistic integrity. It's a shame. Oh boy. Tim, inflated egos. You're being nice. I won't use the words cult mentality. Thank you for answering my questions. Okay. Yeah, you got me. I edited what I originally... Okay. Tracy, I was told that Partners in True Crime was going to air it all. Then the day Kaden Pressy's first part came out, Kaden Pressy and Alicia had a lot of questions from Travis Davidson, and due to that and all the backlash they had started getting, they decided to cut out Alicia's because there was comments on how she was telling Kaden what to say and think. That's what I've gotten from all that anyway. Oh. What's this? I did the exact same thing. I stepped away for a good month due to really weird harassment, doxing with my kid. It isn't even in any of these groups. Traumatic life event. Wow. Seems to be a lot going on. Of course, you can pause the video whenever you want to read the additional comments. Whoopsie daisy. What's going on here? So it looks like I've read most of the comments here from the looks of it. Apologies if I've missed anything out. Just take in mind that some of these posts will be updated later with additional comments. But yeah, Partners in True Crime supposedly in 2025 returning back to the Noah Presgrave case by doing videos. Credit to Heather Robinson for reposting, showing the video of mine. That's obviously good to see. Any comments that need to be acknowledged? Quick look. Oh yeah, we'll just do this quick. Denise Rogers-Arnold, wow, this is so sad. Warlike Ref is the only one that has been doing updates and following since Partners in True Crime went dark. I hope Partners in True Crime isn't involved in the participation of what's going on with Raf. Okay, well, because there was a misunderstanding here, so I'll just read it at some point. Jody, I'm in Honduras. What happened to Warlike Raf? Well, by the way, Warlike Raf has not been receiving $20 handouts in recent time, and I do want to acknowledge that I did see Jody's response at a later point, and it was a light-hearted joke, so that's all okay. But yeah, no $20 at this moment in time, not that number precisely. There we go. This is what needs to be acknowledged. Denise says, some of the videos that Warlike Raf has done that involved Kaden Pressy have been taken down. I think Alicia Pressy admitted to doing it. I'm not sure. So just to clear the air there, at this moment in time, none of my Kaden Pressy videos have been taken down. But 3 of my videos which involve Jack Newton, Caleb Newton, have been falsely taken down. Falsely reported back in 2024 when I was, starting off in the early days of covering the case, June 1st onwards, and then it happened. Then in 2025, after 4 to 6 months of silence, then suddenly YouTube decides to rip away my video. Normally it takes 1 month for a report to be filed and sorted with and videos to be removed. It took YouTube, 4-6 months to just change their mind, even though they said I did nothing wrong. It was absolutely crazy. So to add on, for anyone wondering, there was a text conversation or group chat where it showed Alicia saying, file this or report this or that. And as well, if you report Warlike Ref videos to YouTube, that will help. Alicia, in her own words, said, if people report Warlike Ref's videos to YouTube, that will help. Report as in get them taken down. Not good, is it? So, am I saying that Alicia is responsible for my videos getting taken down? No. Because, how do I word this? One individual in the background who was a part of that group chat actually looked back to the date of it, and it was around December 4th. In terms of when I received those privacy violation guideline reports on YouTube from whoever, a third party, that was before December. It was months before December when I got the false reports, months ago. So I don't think there is a clear correlation there, but it is an unfortunate coincidence. But you never know in the future, if any of my videos do get taken down or removed, from what I've seen with my own eyes, with that text conversation, with what Alicia had said, word for word, report Raf's videos to YouTube, I am going to be a little bit skeptical. But at this moment in time, I don't think Alicia is responsible whatsoever for my videos being taken down. because that conversation took place later. The false reports came in earlier when I was starting covering the case. And as in earlier, at the time of when I was covering from the light side perspective, the Justin Roy perspective, the Alicia Kaden perspective, etc., etc. Back then, there was more chance that the dark side hated me rather than the light side. I'm not saying that's literally the case, but that's how it could be interpreted. So there'd be no reason for Alicia to report my Jack Newton or Caleb Newton videos. There'd be no reason to do that. So, and once again, my Kaden Pressy videos have not been reported, so it's all okay. But, you know, if anything goes wrong in the future, I will be skeptical, but I have the right to be that way with what I've seen. I'm still trying to be balanced and fair, and also give context to when that conversation took place around December the 4th, 2024, okay? Yes, my videos got taken down at the start of January 2025, but in terms of when those videos were actually reported, it was many months before when I was starting off in covering the case. So, not a direct correlation. Some additional stuff. Partners in true crime, live in LA, home near wildfires. So things are rough. Obviously delays with other things, I'll get that. Snaps prove Kaden Pressy's timeline's wrong. Police have had them. Yeah, as for certain timelines, we probably can get to that in a separate post, to be honest. Denise Rogers, there are new ones about to be removed with Kaden Pressy. Wait, what? What? How does... let's just see. That was not videos. That was Kaden was in. It was videos on Jet. Yeah, that's correct what Joyce says. Yes. But Denise Rogers is saying that Warlight Ref has new videos, or there'll be new videos on Warlight Ref's channel that will be removed, which are to do with Kaden Pressy. Well, I've not received any emails. I've not received any notifications of any more privacy reports or videos being taken down. So that's not true at this moment in time. But you never know in the future. We'll see what happens. I'll document it as well. Cindy, I could literally give a shit less about Ref. I listened to part of a podcast and he bored me to tears. Beating around the bush with everything. I don't listen to him, period. Well, the thing is, Cindy Cox, if I start beating around the bush hard enough, I might actually push back those wildfires. Get a grip of yourself. At the end of the day, single-handedly on YouTube keeping the case alive, single-handedly at one point keeping it alive on Reddit, even though the odd person in the comment section recently said, how could you think that? I'm just doing valid observations. It's as simple as that. Cindy Cox, you couldn't give a shit about me, yet you're still talking about me. You're bored to tears, but you just can't help yourself in referring to my name. Am I ingrained in your mind, subconsciously? There's a bit of tension going on. Disappointing. You don't listen to me, well, you'll become a lost cause. It's as simple as that. You don't want to be balanced? You don't have to be balanced. What else? I was just letting you know why they had not been around recently, that's all. Like I told Laura, anything with that guy, Ref, I know absolutely nothing about. Right, well, there we go. You don't really know nothing about, you don't know much about Ref, and you can't be jumping to conclusions either, can you? You know, some people have jumped to the conclusions, just like Cindy Cox and some of her impetuous plums, where they said, Warlight Ref, he goes on and on, his videos are so long. And then I went to my playlist and I looked back at my older videos and there were dozens of shorter videos. How much shorter do you want? You know what? Next time round, I'll make you a 6-second long video. And I'm sure people are going to complain and think, 6 seconds, that's too long. I can't handle it. Can we set it to 1 second? No, that's too long. My attention retention span is so degenerative. I can't handle it. What a shame. Maybe you need to see a doctor. Dr. Ref, though, is present. Denise, I haven't been on Ref commenting. What else do we have? Anything else? So really, all it seems to be is Warlight Ref is beating around bushes. Do I tend to do that? Well, I jumped into a bush once and it's actually recorded on my channel. little bit out of context, but it does exist. Okay. So that was interesting. So there was still resistance on the case discussion group in regards to myself, but it happens. It's what creates that balance of positive, negative. It needs to be both ways. Here we go. We get some more interesting stuff. Tim Daniel, 14 hours ago. I'm going to try and spend some time looking at this. There might not be enough time to look at it from the comments of my previous video. Just want to be conscious of time. With the earlier stuff, what we looked at was quite heavy. Tim says, is everyone going by Kaden Pressy's OHP interview 2024 June or by his Partners in True Crime interview of July? They completely contradict each other in regard to the time frame surrounding when his mother called and when his cousin was picked up and how she got to the roadside. Why is there such a huge discrepancy between his official OHP interview, which I am inclined to think is most accurate because it involves LE, fair enough, and his more casual Partners in True Crime interview? I'm really wanting to finally nail down times and sort through all the discrepancies regarding what times are really accurate. This portion of the timeline is the least accurate. It's also one of the most important to get correct because it's at the last time Kaden says that he sees Noah whilst on the phone with his mom. Here are all the references I could find. You can see how confusing this gets. Please comment with any other screenshots you may have. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Tim, it's good that you've collected what you have. I actually have a very deep side-by-side comparison of the discrepancies of what was said in one interview compared to the other. It might not revolve all around what we see here, but if you've not seen it before, Tim, or you may have seen it but forgotten, maybe the next video that I do, I can refer back to my Google Earth project where I've actually bullet pointed it all and then, go from there. We can always return back to stuff we don't miss out. Right, what's this about? Is this Kaden Pressy or someone? He said Noah wasn't outside when he was waiting on the porch with Georgia. Waiting on the porch with Georgia, why? I know we arrived... Oh, could this be Alicia, maybe? I know we arrived about a mile away around 3:15 in the morning. Whoa, that's getting on a bit, isn't it? That is when we saw Georgia's location moving and my sister-in-law called her and told her to tell a friend to pull over. We got Georgia in our car and drove home to Duncan. When Georgia left, he went back inside, Kaden, and went to sleep. Well, if that's at 3:15, and then you say when Georgia left, Kaden went back inside to sleep. Kaden said he went to sleep at 2 in the morning. To go back to sleep at 3:15, what's going on there? But to be fair, Kaden said in the police-recorded interview the mention of the 3:20 or 3:24 timestamp of when going back to sleep. So it'd be consistent with what's mentioned on here. But as for Kaden's Partners in True Crime interview, yes, 2:43 when he was woken up by Alicia. But that's 2:43. That's when Georgia had already made it home. But here, 3:15 onwards is when Georgia was on the move, leaving the party house. By 2:43, much earlier, Georgia was already home from what Kaden said. So there's a big contrast. It's messy. It's not good, this. It's a problem. Can I say one thing then? Not that it directly applies. Has there ever been a point in time where, in regards to certain events and times, that people have said it from different time zone perspectives? People that are near to Texas or in Texas when commenting on these events. Would it be an hour time difference or anything like that? Misunderstood? See, what was really unfortunate? Back in the Dylan Rounds case, you had one perspective of the timestamps and phone data, and then you had a different one. And it was out by an hour or so and a few minutes. And you know why? Because you had Lucin, Utah, and then you had Montello, Nevada. When being close together, people that were retelling or telling their stories or adding on were giving the timestamps from their time zone, which was a different time zone or an hour earlier or later in Lucin, Utah. It was an absolute mess. It was so confusing. Eventually it was cleared up, but it was just like an unnecessary headache. Okay. When Georgia left, Kaden went back inside, went to sleep, asked if he saw Noah, and he said the last time he saw Noah, he was mad at a girl and was going to take a shower. Wait, what? Noah was mad at a girl? What, like Avery or Logan because of the sleeping situation? But then to take a shower wouldn't make sense because from what I remember, side-by-side rollover, getting dirty, maybe injured, then needing a wash, understandable, and then trying to sleep in one of the girls' beds and it not working out. But here it's been worded as the bedroom thing happened first and then the shower happened just after. What? This is so weird. Jamie Cooney, he went to sleep, he said, after he dropped his cousin off down the street. Who is Jamie Cooney? Who's Jamie? How are they related? Dropped his cousin off down the street around 3:15. He did, but Noah lives 30 miles away and he only drove his cousin a mile down the street to meet his aunt and her mom. Wait, what? Oh, God. OHP interviewed Kaden Pressy. Mom calls me around 3 a.m. to let me know that she has, made it back home. Right, so that's one discrepancy because Kaden Pressy said in the Parts in True Crime interview, his mom Alicia called at 2:43. 2:43. And that by 3 a.m, Kaden had gone back to sleep. But in the OHP interview, the transcript says at 3 a.m. was when the mum called. So it pushes the time back even more, showing inconsistency. Driving, I don't know what I mean. I've talked to Kevin like, Now, real quick, before I lose it, at 3:20, when you talk to your mom, I go back to sleep around 3:20 after answering the phone call. Interesting. So, did Kaden Pressy receive the call at 2:43 and then go back to sleep at 3 a.m? Or did Kaden Pressy get the call at 3 a.m. and then went back to sleep at around 3:20? Which one is it? There seems to be some issues, doesn't there? We got Lelia Pinson. Shout out to Lelia Pinson because I think they've been present on my channel here and there. Shout out to them. They say to Alicia, I apologise, I thought it was right before he fell asleep. My apologies. Was there one right before he fell asleep or just what he saw them all in the kitchen? Alicia says, when I called him at 2:42 in the morning to tell him I had his cousin, that is when he looked around whilst on the phone with me and was able to see where everyone was. He said he was going to sleep. That doesn't match Kaden, does it? Tara Andrews. Who's Tara Andrews? So what is left out of the message is Kaden wasn't drunk the night because he was watching over his knees because he didn't want the guys doing anything with Tua. He's told us, okay, it's been said he wouldn't take Noah home because he was drunk. He was the one. I'm almost certain that he was the one that met Alicia about a mile away and then he went back to the party. What? What? What is going on here? What is the story? And on that podcast, it says saying that the girl's cousin told her that after the ATV wreck, there was a nurse there that checked Noah over and said he was okay. Went back to partying. CNA is not a nurse, and everybody has been commenting on the Beth video and how he looked unconscious and you could see the gash on his head. Jasmine said that when she was sharing him, she didn't notice anything on his head. I'm turning all these bitches into the state nursing board. I gotta get all the names. And actually, it's just Jasmine, but Caleb's sister too for the boating accident, but I know her name. She's a nurse practitioner. I don't know what the hell's going on here. What the hell? And the bit about I'm almost certainly certain that Kaden was the one that met Alicia about a mile away and then went back to the party. What? You're right to feel uneasy about that. It's a kink in the chain, in the chronology chain of events. So, to be honest, it's kind of like the first time me seeing this stuff. It's weird. So it just hasn't been said that Kaden left and came back to the party when all this stuff was going on. I mean, you would think since you're coming in at like 3:30 that you're going to hear that Noah's missing, and being the good kid, you don't go out looking for him and you don't hear it. He's missing because they don't say anything other than that stupid Snapchat. How you talk to Alicia? I mean, who are these people anyway? It's something sensitive to even discuss. I don't even know who these people are. What's this about? Bring it up because second party chat thing. I mean, now Becky Matlock has seen it. So what's Stevie been talking about all the time? No, what's he doing now? Get off, I didn't want that. Went to sleep, I saw Noah, and he said the last time he saw Noah was, okay, wow, okay. Oh, we've seen that one. This is me texting my sister-in-law at 1:45 in the morning. Well, we've got that point of view, haven't we? Or at least a different point of view from Alicia's. Okay, anonymous member. There's a reason being anonymous. Breeley Garlinger left the party house before 3 in the morning on September 4th. Well, you know, we've heard it in recent time, but actually left just before 2 in the morning. So we've got a 1 hour time difference, maybe. Awesome. Time has to be confirmed. She drove herself back to Comanche. She drove herself. Well, no, we've not heard that. She didn't drive herself. They actually got a lift back. Right. So it tells me that some of this stuff is probably old and it might have changed since. So not to get too confused. Now, oh, is this the one? Breeley is my sister and left by 2 in the morning. There we go. Yep. She didn't drive. She called and was picked up by my older sister. She was gone before anything went down. Yep. We saw that in recent time. Parts in True Crime interview, Kaden. 2:43 and my mum, Alicia, called me saying that she had picked up my cousin because they were worried about her, and they picked her up about a mile so down the road because they noticed her location was moving. Okay, fair enough. Told her to pull over. She was in the car with her friend, and they picked her up and called me, and I went right back to sleep after that. 2:43, but you know, the other one was a different time. What time did Kaden hear Jack and Noah arguing again, the heated one? 3 in the morning on Sunday when Georgia was leaving. Well, Georgia was not leaving Sunday. Georgia arrived Sunday. 3 in the morning on Sunday wouldn't even make any sense. 3 a.m. Monday would make a little bit more sense, would it not? So maybe the day was wrong. The time a little bit more correct, but the day was wrong. Georgia, if Georgia was leaving, it would have been Monday, not Sunday. So, yeah, it's just very dodgy, in my opinion. What's this one? And yeah, I think you said that 3:20 was when, yeah, your mum called and was no present then. I thought he was present, so I just went back to sleep. I didn't really think about it. That's a big issue. We'll get to that. Justin Roy. Agreed, there's definitely something going on there. I was absolutely shocked when I found out she went to pick up Georgia at 2:45 a.m. roughly. That's still odd to me. I do question it. 2:45? Well, by 2:43, it was already all done from what Kaden said. I think at one time you thought foul play as well. What changed? Melissa SUV, she says her 2:43 call was saying she was almost home with Georgia. That's impossible. More than likely, it was to say we're almost there at the highway. Even there, it looks suspicious. I don't believe anything bad, however, but poor language and communication, possibly. Stevie Howard to Alicia. You said after she left, he went to sleep. Kaden. Kids loaded her correct. Kaden helped. You both state after he did, he went back in and went to sleep, but you picked her up a mile from the home at 3:15, but he was asleep at 2 to 2:30 in the morning. So 45 to an hour later, after he loaded her and went back to sleep, and you showed an hour from home to pick her up on the side of the road. Again, I'm not accusing. This is how rumour gets started, as someone, something, and just runs with it. Oh, God. It's going to headache, this. Alicia Lee. Stevie Howard. Who said he was asleep at 2 in the morning? Well, Kaden Pressy did. Kaden Pressy said it in the Partners in True Crime interview. He went to sleep at 2 in the morning. Weird. Alicia says, he did drift off whilst she was still in the house, but he didn't go lay on the couch until around 3 in the morning. Wait, what? What? Well, Kaden, who was actually there at the party, said he went to sleep 2 a.m. 43 minutes later, was woken up by Alicia's call. Then around 3 a.m, went to sleep. Now, I will admit, before Kaden Pressy did the Partners in True Crime interview, there was a public statement by Kaden Pressy that said he went to sleep at around 3 a.m. Then came Partners in True Crime where he said he went to sleep 2 a.m, woke up 2:43, went back to sleep 3 a.m. I was thinking, wait, Kaden said he went to sleep for the first time 3 a.m. And that was Facebook's statement. That ties in with what Alicia says here. Language, wording, communication. Let's get a screenshot of that. Might need to use it in the future. I think so. Get off. There we go. Isaac Rojas was the only other person in the house asleep at the time. He never loaded her. You're making that up. She was walking and went to a sober friend's car. Stop it with the accusing mess. Oh, no. This could be old, but it just feels like a complete mess, to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. Most of these screenshots I've not seen before because I've not been around all the time. Nevertheless, Justin Boy says, good post, Joyce Brugau, but in my opinion, during the slap game with Brian Sweat, Noah did seem a little bit slower in his reactions and sounded like he was slurring a little, in my opinion. Obviously, it could have been the alcohol or could have been something more. I do remember... Okay. Right, so what I'm going to do, no disrespect, I'm not going to look at any more comments or responses because honestly, I've looked at too many today and my eyes are a little bit tired. I can always catch back up on the comment section here on another day when when I do the comparison of the other stuff. But I'd just like to give my thoughts on the matter right now. I think the best thing to do, because what I want to acknowledge right now is quite a lot of what I've seen today, or at least, when it comes to some of those screenshots I've not really seen before, unless you're just referring to the 243 timestamp from Partners in True Crime compared to the 320 timestamp in regards to going to sleep, back to sleep in the private one. I'm familiar with them and I focus in on them a lot. But the timing of when Georgia had left the party house, around 2, just before 2, or beyond afterwards, around 3 or just before 3, and then the time of when being picked up, and then if Kaden had gone down to the highway to meet up with people, and then somebody referenced to a nurse and a side-by-side rollover, the shower, gash in the head, all known and people didn't know at the same time. What the fuck is going on there? That's where it gets to an area which I've not looked at myself. So when I see it all in one go, like I just did before, with everything else going on, it's going to take some time to process because I don't cover it all in one go. It'd be too much. So I'll have to break it down. And one way to break it down would be to acknowledge the comments from Tim Daniels' post in the next video and go from there. And then whether I fully understand it or not in the moment, I can at least then transition on to my project of discrepancies of what I noted down at the time and tried simplifying, and then show you it that way. Not all about one particular theme, but just as a whole, holistically. I do understand this area is important and which timeline or which one's correct, Partners in True Crime or the other one. And there might be some timestamps that were mentioned in regards to when people arrived or certain stuff happening in Partners in True Crime, but there was no mention in the private interview. I could be wrong, but I'm sure from my memory, in Partners in True Crime, Kaden Pressy said, now Kaden had acknowledged recently that it was Renee, husband, Stephanie, daughter, and Stephanie's boyfriend that came to the house at supposedly 6:30 in the morning. Kaden Pressy reconfirmed at least who was there in my live chat recently, which was good. But at least word for word, roughly speaking, in Partners in True Crime, Kaden had said Renee arrived at the party house at 6:30 in the morning. In the private police recorded interview, Kaden had said Renee, Renee's husband, Stephanie and Stephanie's boyfriend had shown up at the party house. but did not include the 6:30 timestamp. That's what was interesting, where a casual interview can mention important times, but a private, more important interview does not mention the times. What's that all about? I don't know if it applies to any other events in between, but I thought I'd just throw it in as like an example. See, I might bring it up anyway in the next video or two, but from what I can remember, Parts in True Crime, Kaden Pressy wakes up at 2:43 a.m. to do with Alicia, Georgia making it back home safely. And whilst Kaden is awake in the moment, he's looking around and he says in the interview that at the time of the party, when awake, he saw Jack Newton awake, of all people, despite supposedly claiming to be asleep. He was awake, along with Noah Presgrove, Jasmine Millan, and they're at the beer pong table. Next thing you know, Kaden Pressy had started going back to sleep at around 3 in the morning. Okay. The private police interview, which took place almost like a month beforehand, June 2024, Kaden had said in the police interview that he went back to sleep at around 3:20. The 2:43 timestamp of when the call was made was not mentioned, but supposedly the 3 in the morning timestamp was. That's the only part I don't fully remember, but that's what was brought up. As for 3:20 or 3:24 around there, when Kaden Pressy was going back to sleep, well, that's getting later on. And the later on it gets, it's then 10 minutes before Noah actually walks away from the house. So Kaden could have seen more. You know, the later it is, the further it's pushed back, the closer it is to other events unfolding at the time. And whereas Kaden could have gone to sleep at 3:20, 10 minutes later, Noah could have left. Would Kaden have been woken up in between that small period of going back to sleep, or would he have been a heavy sleeper? Who knows? But Kaden had said he assumed Noah was still at the house at the party around. But Kaden said in the police recorded interview he did not physically see Noah present. He just assumed he was there. Right. Well, if you couldn't see Noah, but you also said you could see him at 2:43, how does that make sense? Because at 2:40, from what Kaden had said, in which interview? The private one, I believe, at 2:40, you had the side-by-side rollover. At 2:43, Kaden, with his Partners in True Crime account, have been woken up. Only like a 3-minute time difference of when the side-by-side rollover occurred, Noah being outside bloodied, and then 3 minutes later, Noah doing the beer pong with Jack and Jasmine casually, like nothing happened. That makes no sense. That's dodgy. Is it possible that the side-by-side rollover occurred at 2:40? Kaden Pressy was woken up at 3 in the morning. But if Kaden was woken up at 3 in the morning, why would Kaden say 20 minutes later? That's when he then made a reference to Noah not being present. Well, who was present then at 3 in the morning? Forget about the time of when you were about to go back to sleep and when looking around. Who was there at 3 in the morning? Was Noah there at 3 in the morning? If he was there at 2:43 to 3 in the morning, but he wasn't at 3:20. See, this is what I mean. These overlays, crossovers, it's not good. It's a complete mess. In the moment, I'm not going to be able to dissect it all, but I can always refer back to my little project, what I did on Google Earth, just to get a bit into it and a bit more clearer. It's quite raw today, amongst all other things what we've been looking at, but this could well be a particular topic what we focus in on for maybe the next few days, or we'll see how it goes. If it gets too confusing, slow down a little bit, look elsewhere, or if on the correct track, on the right pathway with momentum, just keep on focusing in on it. We'll see. But if Kaden, which he had said at 3:20, he did not see Noah, he just assumed Noah was there, well then where was Noah then at 3:20? If at 3:30 that's when Noah walked away, what happened at 3:20? The shower, teabagging, being fed ramen noodles and yogurt, bedroom debacle. The closer it is to those events, closer to when Ken drops back to sleep, you'd have thought maybe been woken up again or heard those noises before dropping to sleep. Interesting. And as well, if it was 3:20, 10 minutes before Noah walking away, but Noah at 3:20, nowhere to be seen, Ken just assumes Noah's there. Maybe Noah's in a different room. Doing what exactly? Well, as well, there's reference to the tea bagging. In a small space of time, if Caden's awake, he didn't see or feel or hear anything like that. So does that mean the tea bagging never happened? A lot of conflict, a lot of mess, a big, big mess. So, we'll have to get into that. Hopefully you found the video somewhat interesting. This is just like the start. We'll see where it goes next and what happens next. If you do want to share the video, feel free, hit the share button and the like, that'd be much appreciated. If you want to catch up on recent coverage, top right corner of the screen up there. If you want to leave your comments below, down there, that'd be appreciated. And if you want to support the channel, the PayPal link is down below. With that all being said, I need to rest my head. Thanks for watching, goodbye, and good night for now.